Hello and welcome back to Finite Space. We will be continuing where we left off, which, if you recall, is after Corwan and the gang had a little outing and everything seemed to be going well. They were at a, I believe, club, and in general things were fun. Grunt was drinking everyone under the table, and it was up to Corwan to basically take Grunt back and, just see that he's safe. Unfortunately, when he arrived, he noticed that Grunt's commander, I forgot his name, Fen, was not wearing anything. Why? We don't know. And then eventually, when Corwan made it back home, Calbex decided to have a talk with him about what happened on planet side when they were busy dealing with the swarm alien people things. So yeah, they're probably gonna have a discussion about what Corwan had to do for Grunt in order for him to survive the whole ordeal, the feedback. Also, it's gonna prove me right when I said that. Well, you'll see. Anyways, you'll also be seeing something for the first time, or someone for the first time. So yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. What else? I don't really remember what else happened before. I mean, they were successful in defeating a butcher, which is, I guess, like a big type of the aliens. Corwan and Grunt did the thing, and yeah, that's about it. Anyways, so yeah, without further ado, let us continue in Finite Space. My mind goes totally blank in panic. He knows? He knows. Oh, fuck. What am I gonna do? Am I going to be discharged? Sent back to Foro in shame? What about Brut? Oh shit, this can't be Hey, Corwan, stay with me. Relax. Just breathe, okay? His paws reach over to cover my hands, and he slowly strokes the back of them with his thumb pads. I hadn't even noticed that I'd been writing them in front of him. I look up from our hands to his face. He isn't mad, just concerned. His ears are perked towards me, likely focused on my pounding heart and imminent meltdown. You're not in trouble. I just need to know what happened. The stuff that you left out of the report. Take it easy. It's all right. I'm right here. He's trusting me, letting me explain. I need to return his faith, even though I promised not to say anything about it. I have to believe that he'll understand. It happened after we took down the butcher. I stuttered and stumble over my words, but soon they come out like a torrent. The dam bursts and all the pent-up secrets spill out. Calbex is quiet and patient. He doesn't interrupt as I explain as best as I can. How Brut was suffering so much from the pain, how nothing we did was keeping him with us. The kiss, the partial success, how it wasn't enough. And then I told him to fuck me. It sounds bad, but in that moment it's all that I could think of. I winced at my own words. I'm not doing a very good job justifying my choice and not making it sound like a victory shag after a battle. After my word vomit finally ends, the story finished, just as we'd rejoined the dropship. I take in a shaky breath. It's a relief in a way, to have it all out in the open, and no longer purposefully keep secrets from Calbex. A looming sense of dread creeps into my stomach, and I'm not sure what Calbex will say, but surely it can't be good, and he'll have to report it, won't he? I stare at the table while I await judgment. You did the right thing, Corwan. My head snaps up as I gape at him. He holds both of his paws up to signal that he isn't done. Don't get me wrong, it was stupid, dangerous, and compromising. You and your pack were put in an indefensible position because of you. And if more plague had landed, you'd likely have been wiped out. So I'm not saying that it was the smartest thing to do, but... He points at me as his mouth moves wordlessly for a moment as he tries to find what to say. You used, yes, a completely unconventional method and manner to help your fellow packmate. You saved his life, most likely. Or at least you tried to delay things until his knight, Fen, was out of his situation. I wouldn't have thought of it. I don't think anyone has. But you did it. It worked. He's alive. On the other paw... He takes my hands again and holds them, squeezing them tightly for emphasis. Do not ever do that again. It was the right thing to do in this instance, but you can't use that tactic again. It's far too risky and... He cuts himself off and then looks away, blushing. He takes a sip from his glass before clearing his throat and continuing. It was... That is... It was very distracting when I felt it. His awkward mumblings give way to silence. In the pause, for a heartbeat, it doesn't click until... Oh shit. Oh shit. He'd felt it, or rather, how I felt when Brut was... fucking shit. Oh my stars above. I cover my face in sheer embarrassment. I don't know what could possibly be worse. The fact that what we'd done had come to light, or the fact that Calbex had been proxy fucked by it all. I moved to sit on the floor, unable to meet Calbex's gaze when I opened my eyes. It's alright, Corwan. Really. It happened, and we move on. Fen mentioned that he'd... Oh no. Fen, I mean, Commander Fen felt it too? What Brut was... Oh sir, please kill me now, before he gets to me. Fen knew. Fen knew? He's hated me from the get-go, and now he's aware of what we did. What I made Brut do. I can't... This isn't... Corwan. Calbex's yell feels far away. His chair scrapes against the floor. I'm spiraling, hyperventilating as the full force of everything hits me. I screwed up. I hadn't considered the feedback of the Aegis. What Calbex and Fen felt from it. What danger I put them in. Shit. They could have crashed. I put so many at risk. They could have all died. I've killed them. I'm surrounded by warmth. Arms wrap around my back and cradle me. Corwan. Corwan, just breathe, okay? Take it slow. It's okay. You're okay. I'm sitting in his lap on the floor. He's just holding me so carefully, like I might shatter if he squeezes too hard. I just might. It takes a few labored, strained breaths before I start to calm. His chest rises and falls against me. It becomes easy to focus on, to match his breathing. It's okay. Is it? I fucked up the entire pack's lives. They could all be discharged. It's okay. But I messed up. I could have gotten you killed, or Fen killed, or all of you. I could. It's okay. You did your best. You made a choice. You saved lives. I choke down a sob. It's supposed to be the other way around. I'm supposed to take care of Calbex, comfort him, yet here he is making sure that I'm holding on. I'm sorry. Don't be. He gives me the lightest squeeze before pulling back and wiping a tear from my face. You're not gonna be punished. None of the pack is. And you're not even in trouble. Fen was more agreeable when we spoke that this incident be kept as, how did he put it? A teachable moment, and a learning opportunity. So there's that. I'm not exactly sure about that. I don't feel the commander has an agreeable bone in his body. Calbex is speaking quite certainty of it, so I have to accept it. I nod weakly. Okay. And you and me? This whole thing, what I did and made you feel. How do I fix that? How can I ever fix that? He doesn't reply at first. He cups my cheek and strokes it with the tiniest amount. It takes a lot to not lean into the touch. I said that it was alright, and I meant it. Yes, it was, in the moment, a very different sensation to feel. But we all made it through. And after all, it's not like those kinds of, feelings are bad at all. Just time and place. He awkwardly looks away and fidgets, which makes me realize that I am still in his lap. Oh, sorry. Let me just... I attempt to untangle myself and stand up, but my position is awkward and I end up nearly face-planting into the floor. Calbex catches me by the left arm. He slowly picks us both up, and he gently puts me on my feet. He keeps his face at eye level. He's super close and it's hard not to see how handsome he is. The blue of his eye seems to twinkle in the kitchen lights. Are you feeling okay now? My cheeks redden, but I nod. He lets me go. Alright, so time for bed? Excuse me? I squeak out. It's late, and even with nothing planned for tomorrow, we both still have drills and exercises to complete for the day. Oh, yeah, that's right. Sorry, yeah, I'll head up first. Corwan, Stringer, get your mind out of the gutter. You just reconciled and you think that that is what he meant? Leave now before you say anything worse. I turn and start to leave the kitchen. I stop to linger in the doorway. Thank you, Calbex, for believing me and for, well, everything. I turn my head to the left to glance at my knight. His back is to me as he clears the table, but his tail wags like a happy pendulum as he replies. No worries, Corwan. I should trust my squire, shouldn't I? It's not a question, and I don't reply. I head upstairs slowly. My mind is still reeling, but I am comforted too. As I throw myself onto my bed, I consider getting undressed, but that seems like too much effort right now. I stare at the ceiling for a minute. That was a lot. And so embarrassing. And dangerous. Even if Calbex and Fen, though I have no idea why, are okay with what happened, it still could have been catastrophic. We can't let that happen again. I can't let that happen again. Even as that thought enters my mind, Brut's face swims into view, in pain, eyes rolling into his head, screaming and dying. Fuck. Calbex was right. I probably would have done everything exactly the same if I did it over. To save him. There should have been something else that I could have done, an alternative. I lift my head and look at my wardrobe. I swing my legs off the bed and then force myself to sit up. I stand, move over, and then open the wardrobe. My armor looks back at me. I consider it for a beat before pulling the breastplate out and then taking it to my desk. As I flick on the lamp, the light catches the edges. It refracts some scattered colors before I sit and pull it closer to examine. This was the issue, though maybe the solution too. I hastily make some notes, lest I forget come morning. What I plan to do, or at least want to do, will take longer and a well-rested brain. I leave the plate and the notes on the desk to remind me. It won't happen again, but I also won't stop trying to save anyone either. I just need time and maybe some help. Getting back into bed, this time after actually undressing, I pull my STIK out and fire up a message. Hey Morrow, today has been a lot. We went out for drinks, which was fun. How are things there? Have you been practicing your footwork? You always avoided those lessons. Don't lag behind. When you get a chance, can I pick your brain on something? I have an idea that I want to try. With that, I place my STIK on the nightstand. I finally close my eyes and let the darkness take me. Come on, it's not that bad. Zarya flashes me with her not a care in the world trademark grin as we jog down the path. Zarya, my knight and the commander, not only knew what we were doing, but felt stuff too. It is bad. When I'd risen, just before noon, Calbex was already out, which in some ways was preferred. I'm still not sure that I can look him in the eye just yet. Fortunately, whether by circumstance or some cosmic blessing, Zarya messaged. She and Cyrox were going on a run to burn off the fumes, as he liked to put it, and invited me along. Cyrox said that he wanted to work up a sweat first. He took off at an alarming pace around the complex. He's lapped us already. Zarya stayed at my pace and listened as I told her about last night. Yeah, but Nighthawk said that it was okay, and even Commander Orion isn't going to do anything about it. To be honest, I'm kinda glad. I much prefer that we don't have to keep this hidden. Not that I wanted to shout about it in the mess hall or anything. She bumps into my left side, but lightly so as not to impact our stride. I'm grateful that she doesn't send me careening off the path. I'm not used to secrecy. In my clan, it's expected that all shortcomings and errors are owned up to. The twisting feeling that I had in my stomach the last few weeks has been more intense than a barrel of eels. I hadn't realized that Zarya had been so worked up about this, another person my decision has caused issues for. Oh, I'm sorry, Zarya. I had no idea that this was upsetting you. We shouldn't have made you keep the secret if you weren't okay with you. She karate chops my head before I finish, which makes me almost bite my tongue. She really never pulls her punches. I agreed to it. If you'd done something bad, I'd have to report you. But the way that I saw it, you did a great job. I mean, at keeping Brut alive, not your performance. Not that I was watching. She flusteredly shakes her head as if to banish the words and thoughts from the air. I playfully bump into her side. I don't mind either way, Zarya. I definitely appreciate your support. All of your support. She grins at me, and then we continue to jog in comfortable silence as we finish our lap. The exercise and the company makes me feel much more calm about everything. The peace is broken as an incredibly large and excited Drake thunders behind us. Hey, there you are. He bounds up alongside us to effortlessly match our pace. Normally, I'd be unsurprised at the Mawful's athletic prowess, but he's keeping up while carrying a large black case, casually slung over his shoulder. He catches me looking and winks. Well spotted, Squire Stringer. I was thinking today that would be a perfect time to practice our marksmanship, so I grabbed a cache on my last lap. Damn, he's fast, and strong too, to be able to do all of that and not even look a little exerted. I perk up at the sound of getting more shooting practice in, but Zarya practically deflates instead. Cyrox, please, can't we just spar or do defensive drills instead? I much prefer getting more practice with combating the plague in close quarters. There's just the tiniest hint of a whine to her tone, and she looks pleadingly at the larger knight. Now, Squire Malrexes, there is always time to do that, but with the weather being just right, we can head to an outdoor forest range. Trying to aim for targets under depth lighting poses an interesting and worthwhile challenge. He grins at the both of us, even as Zarya shrinks further away. I just don't feel that it's the right time yet. I'm still waiting on some fine motor tweaks from Captain Jay's, and I think that we should wait until he's done before doing anything more intense. Zarya Malrexes. She avoids Cyrox's gaze as he places his left claw on his hip and looks down at her. For the first time, I feel the full intimidating presence of the humongous man as he frowns at his squire. You cannot flee from things you are not good at in favor of those you are. I get your trepidation and want for the conditions to be just right, but life doesn't afford that, and nor do the plague. We will always endeavor to be in our best conditions when we fly out, but understanding that is a luxury is important. Learning to fight, even when everything is going wrong, is a valuable lesson for anyone. He slows and stops. We stop beside him as he places a case on the ground and then kneels down next to Zarya. Although he still looms over her, it's easier for her to meet his eyes when she looks up at him. Even if they are not original, nor flesh and bone, your arms are your arms. You are just the one who maintains them, commands them, trains them, just like every other muscle you work. I turn myself to the side so as not to be directly included in the conversation. Even still, I can hear Zarya's tail slapping the path behind her. But it's so frustrating to feel so bad at something, Even before the accident, most of my exercises were melee focused. Still, I was able to hit targets when we did take up range practice. I never was as bad as I am now. I'm supposed to be getting better, no worse. It has to be these... Something shuffles and then claws tap against metal. Swiveling my head on instinct towards the sound, I see Cyrox has closed the gap between him and his squire. He has grabbed Zaria's arms and is holding them still. He would look intimidating if it wasn't for the concern on his face. It might be. But if you get injured in battle, if your legs get hurt, would you stop running? Stop struggling for every step? You can't give up for a single moment. He lets go of her arms and then places his hands in her paws, palms up. I should turn away again, but I'm transfixed now. Do you think that these look good for handling firearms? I was the worst of the bunch when I started. Even had to get customs made once to accommodate my size, and they ended up breaking. Zaria is looking at the size of Cyrox's hands, dwarfing hers entirely. She finally raises her face to look back at his. I trained and I trained and I trained. Just like everything else, it takes a different approach to control your strength than it is to let it run wild. That is what you need to learn, and it's what I will show you. My squire, you will get better as I did. Trust me. Okay. She replies in a small voice. I do manage to turn away now and give her a moment to fully compose herself. The gargantuan palm that I was just admiring clamps onto my left shoulder with surprising gentleness as Cyrox moves to stand next to me, looking out over the KAU complex for a brief minute. Right, let's get to it. Ready? He's directing the question at me, but I feel like it's more voiced for Zaria, who joins us at his left side. Yes, sir. The session actually goes rather well. With just the two of us, Cyrox got us practicing covering each other more than landing accurate hits. The hit-and-run style of moving around the course gave a full-body workout. I see now that he had his style of training in mind to engage Zaria more than myself. By making it physically exerting and making positioning and movement just as important lent to encouraging her more. Furthermore, the arsenal that he brought for us to try had a wider range of weaponry than what KAU usually offers. He even had some of the larger, bespoke versions that he takes into battle, which Zaria actually took to better. She ended up favoring a pair of cylindrical, almost glove-like weapons which fitted over her arms, with the triggers being on a bar connecting the sides. It offered the ability to change between shot or slug projectiles on the fly. Although the kickback from the heavy slug rounds threw her on her ass a few times, she warmed to it and started enjoying the session. I tried a few under Cyrox's watch before seeing that he had brought a Nighthawk as well. Remembering Calbex's advice, I pointed it out to Cyrox. He winked before showing me the ins and outs of my particular choice. Calbex was right about it being harder to handle. The light shots fired in a way very similar to the Wolfpack, though the difference in dimensions and weight distribution took me time to get used to. The Nighthawk differed with its switch to fire heavy shots. The muzzle extended slightly, which meant having to get used to that. Furthermore, the heavy module could be adjusted mid-combat. Usually with any firearm, the percentages of light and heavy are present. Each are carefully configured to the exact specifications a weapon module and chassis can handle. The Nighthawk, when in heavy mode, lets you choose how much each shot is imbued with, depending on intent or target. In theory, it makes a lot of sense. Thinking back to our fight with the Butcher, being able to blast the more armored parts off could have brought it down faster. In practice, it is harder to get used to. The kickback of the most powerful shots are far more intense, but each one has a slight variation that throws me off. Cyrox takes the time to sit behind me and brace my back, giving me the chance to try as many shots as I like. I finally decide to stop, relenting to my shoulders and arms complaining from the strain. Quite the unruly mistress, ain't she, Squire Stringer? Good job staying in the saddle for the whole ride. His humongous hands test and roam across my muscles with expert touches, guiding me through the stretches like the gym nut he is. My face heats up at the touch, especially because of how gentle and firm he is. I try to keep my mind on the Nighthawk and memorizing all the nuances of it I can. Yeah, it's certainly different from anything else, but I think that I can get used to it. Knight Ariga I recommended giving the Nighthawk a try. Cyrox catches my eye as his head slides into view from my left. Little puffs of excited plasma billowing out so close that I can practically taste the ozone at the back of my throat. Oh? I turn my head to watch as he practically skips to my front before grabbing my shoulders with gusto, a terrifying sight given his size, if he didn't have such an affable air to him. And my precious golden hatchling, did our intrepid knight tell you that the Nighthawk was his favorite? He's grinning wildly, so wildly. His tail thumps rhythmically as it slaps the dirt. No, sir, I didn't know. The mammoth of a man finally releases me and stands up fully, still beaming. Oh yes, he was a fine marksman, absolutely a sight to behold on the plains, knocking play down left and right before they knew what hit them. He stares off wistfully and I look at the weapon in my hands. So Calbex used this model? He hadn't reacted differently at all when he suggested it, or at least I didn't notice. He's a good egg. My eyes snap back to Cyrex as he gently places one paw on my shoulder and the other on the Nighthawk, almost caressing it. You are too, Squire Stringer. You both are a nice pair. Trust me, I know. Keep at it, and soon enough, Knight Ariga will be hosting cookouts again with those tasty drinks that he knows I like. I beam up at him. Calbex really has a lot of people rooting for him. I have to think about whether he would appreciate knowing or not. Regardless, I am even more convinced that he truly is the best knight around, despite the impressive monster of a man before me. Sir, I think that I got it. These are more my speed. If anything, this has just got me more hungry for a proper workout. Can we please do some sparring? She bounces back and forth in such an endearing way that I don't know how Cyrex could possibly resist. Indeed, he doesn't. He gives me a final wink before addressing his squire. All right. I can see how amped up you are. Tell you what, let's get cleared up and back to the base, and then we'll do some sets back home. Good enough? He holds out his hands for the excited high fives from Zarya. I'm not sure if he's just really good with Zarya in particular, or if he just draws out the childlike manner of people. You're welcome to join us, but something tells me that this might eat up the rest of your day. You feeling the need for that kind of punishment, Squire Stringer? He grins openly at me and I can't help but return it. Perhaps next time, sir. I built up an appetite and I think that I need a break. He doesn't seem disappointed in the slightest as he chuckles and pats my head. No worries, Squire Stringer. Rest is just as important. And call me Cyrox. We're all in the same pack after all. I unmusk my hair and then start to put away the Nighthawk into its case before a thought strikes me. You can call me Corwan too, Cyrox, if that is all right. He looks perplexed for a moment before thinking, and then laughing heartily. Yes, Squire. That is Corwan. It is a formal thing with Drakekind that I often get stuck in. However, yes, my packmate. Corwan it is. Damn, his dragon may cry smile. He truly makes everything feel so good, it's impossible to resist the vibes that he puts out. Now, let's hurry before we're accused of slacking off. Can't let that insult taint my reputation. With another thunderous laugh, we both get back to packing up. I need to find more excuses to hang out with these energetic gym nuts. I still can't believe that you did it. Black. Oof, well, I mean, yeah, it's stupid. Insane, really, when you just say it out loud. Yeah, it is. But of all the things to do, why that? I don't know, He pauses in his attack long enough to give a jerking motion with a paw before leaping back as I lunge at him. Have been just as good? I mean, Eryx. He was barely conscious, foaming at the mouth, but if I'd done that, or blown him, or something, I mean, yeah, it might have worked, but he might have still passed out, or not been aware of what I was doing. I lower my arms for a moment as I recall how Brut looked, eyes rolling into his head only on the edge of understanding what I was saying. No, it was dumb, but he needed to be aware of what he was doing, not just for the ethical reasons, but I thought that he needed to be participating in it. Eryx considers it for a moment, lowering his guard. But Brut, though? He grimaces before resuming his stance, waiting for my next strike. Oh, believe me, if I had the choice between him or anyone else, it wouldn't have been him. Even the butcher would have been a preferable. Now come on, enough warming up. Over the last few weeks, Eryx and I had gotten into a pretty good rhythm with our sparring. I can tell that he has definitely held back at first. Not that I have the luxury anymore. Now that we've gotten more comfortable with one another, Eryx has slowly become more relaxed and spars with me earnestly. His swings and blows now whistle past me with every near miss, and the eventual impacts send me flying. The first few times Eryx had knocked me down, he was besides himself, apologizing over and over. It took a lot of reassurance that I was not only okay, but perfectly happy with the harsh lessons. Knowing what his blows feel like incentivizes me to not let them land. I am now much better at avoiding or deflecting his strikes, though he still gets a few in. My stamina has also really increased, trying to keep pace with him. It's truly commendable just how tirelessly an onslaught that Ursan system fighting style is. Eryx's lot gives it its all to overwhelmingly consistent blows. Yeah! I yell with an effort as I thrust my sword towards Eryx's side. Getting close, he takes a firm step back and brings his own blade up to parry me just in time. Pushing me back, he creates room as he repositions himself to face me squarely. I know he's about to counter with a flurry of sweeping strikes to try to pin me down. It takes effort to move out of his range as well as avoiding backing into a corner. You have to try harder than that, Corwan. Huh. He lumbers forward with a follow-up swing. Its huge arc gives me very little room to maneuver. I have to dive underneath, where a prepared kick rises to meet me. Fuck! I manage to not take the hit on the chin as I scramble to get out of its range and find a blind spot to land a blow of my own. How about this? I cry out as I lunge forwards after circling Eryx, aiming at his feet to trip him. My reach doesn't quite find the mark. He hops and stumbles back before regaining his footing. Not yet! He grunts as he brings his arms up to cleave his sword down onto me, trying to end it with a decisive strike. I have to abandon following through with my attack to roll out of the way. Even with the steady actions of his downward swing, Eryx is momentarily open. I shift to his side and launch another attack, trying to trip him again. I slap the back of his knees with the flare of my blade and push his right shoulder to the same side, trying to bring him down. It works, somewhat. He teeters, arms spiraling. He manages to latch onto me and is flailing, and we both end up going down. Whoa! Are you okay, Corwan? He's almost landed on top of me. However, he manages to brace his arms on either side of me. His body is flush with mine. I can feel the heat of him even through our suits. As well as his... Yeah, Eryx, I'm good. Your reactions are so good that I didn't have much luck, eh? Almost, though. I grin at him. Even though our spars aren't as intense as a night-led training, we are still making progress in our own ways. Huh. Yeah, you did. He returns my smile, though he makes no effort to get up to his feet. We're both panting. We've been at this for a while now, and I can smell him strongly with him so close. I squirm a bit as thoughts and blood rush elsewhere. Help me up? I plead in hopes that he gets up before this becomes a problem. Oh, sorry. With surprising speed, he gets up off of me and then to his feet. His face is awash in red before he offers me a paw, not meeting my eyes. Well, I think I'm done. Do you want to shower up, or are you heading back home? I gesture over my shoulder in the general direction of the nearest showers. Thanks to one of Captain Jay's apparently many tips for top-tier Squire living, we started using a training room and next-door shower that was seldom booked, or even walked past. Although I have gotten used to having both my flaws and strengths shown in front of others, I appreciate the privacy that we are afforded when trying to improve the former. The real benefit was for Eryx, and what I presume might have been the reason Jace gave his secret spot away. Without added pressure, he really comes out of his shell. Getting to know him more has been a treat. Oh, sure. Yeah, I need it. He nods and his ears wiggle. I've come to learn that they do that when he's in a good mood. Any plans for the evening? I ask as I start to loosen my attire. As the mesh expands and releases my skin from its flush embrace, I cannot but heave a sigh of relief. As much as I understand the need for the body to be vacuum sealed once it's put on, spending a day in one makes you want nothing more than to escape the confines entirely. I wonder if Commander Fenn feels the same way, and that's why he was stripped down last night. Not that nudity is uncommon. He was in his own home and not in a workplace, so it wasn't even inappropriate. I wonder if Calbex does, or rather did, the same before I was assigned to him, and he remains clothed now for my benefit. Not that he seemed to mind when I bathed him, but that was a special situation. It wasn't sexy or anything. Who even was bigger between them? Not that I really looked, or even tried to, but it's not like I didn't not look or anything. I mean, really, you'd have to see them hard to even start to compare. Corwan? What? I jolted, not realizing Eryx had gotten so close. You asked what I was going to be doing this evening. I said that I think that I will tinker with my holoscreen interface to make them more optimal, like how my knight does. But you were just staring off into space and didn't respond. Even when I got really close and then you, yelled. Yeah, sorry, Eryx. I spaced out. It's a bad habit. Oh, no. It's okay. Don't worry about it. He steps into the shower room and then under the spray with a look of absolute bliss. I sheepishly join in the shower opposite and start lathering up. Wicked thoughts, Corwan. I shall scrub them out and... Were you thinking about the thing with Brut again? Whiplash. What? No, what? Oh, I'm sorry. It's just that... His eyes dart away from my face, glancing to my lower half, for a second before he looks away to the left and continues lathering himself. I had not even realized that I was sporting a half-mast all the way from the locker room into the shower. Fuck's sake. No, I wasn't thinking about that, Dick. I was thinking about others. Others? Dicks? No, well, yes, but, I didn't mean that, even if I was. Ah, fuck. You remember, Mouth. It doesn't help that my own traitorous tool isn't going down at all either. Well, I think yours is very nice. Huh? I look over. Even with him turned away, I can peek and see that I am not the only one sporting wood. Oh. So right now, you can choose to either not get it on with him or get it on with him. So as you can see right here, it says that no choice that you make will impact the story the way that it's gonna go. I think for the sake of not having to edit this out, I will not do it. Would I pick it in the privacy of my own experience, where I don't have to, you know, like, edit anything out? Then yeah, I probably would, but like, unfortunately, you guys don't get to see it. At least here, like, you know, obviously, if you want to see it, then just read it, but like, you know, come on. I can't show you this. No, after everything that's happened recently, that is the last thing that I need to indulge in. Oh, thanks, Eryx. I'm embarrassed that I got so worked up in front of you. I definitely need to handle this tonight, I think. He gives me a shy smile over his shoulder and nods, showing off more of his own predicament. Yeah, I think so too. I turn my back to him to give him privacy. I focus on scrubbing clean and hope to calm myself down too. We finish up our shower. After toweling off, I start getting dressed as I wait for Eryx to finish up in the dryer unit. He comes out looking extremely fluffed up. I chortle as he puts his clothes on. Oh, right. You said that you were going to program your STIK interface tonight? Yeah. I want to configure it differently. I don't need as many holo screens as the captain, rather not yet. But Jazz really showed me how incredible they are at handling and reviewing a lot of data at once. If I want to become a better and more capable squire to them, then I think that I ought to be able to do something similar. I nod. That makes total sense. I want the same even if our roles are slightly different. He does give me more fuel to the thought that's been bubbling in the back of my head all day though. Hey Eryx, I might have something that I'll need help with. Could do with some expertise in tech tinkering. You mind if I ask you for some help if I get stuck on it? He turns to me after putting on his jacket, beaming happily. Oh, sure thing. It would be my honor to assist. Ask me anytime. Great. Thanks, Eryx. Will do. We start to head to the door. I've definitely worked up an appetite. Hope Calbex feels the same because I'm cooking large tonight. As we reach the outside, I know that Eryx will bank to the left and head towards Jace's abode, which is much closer to the KAU complex than the other knights' homes. I assume that it's to have access to their workshop more readily. See you later, Eryx. Thanks again for the session. Yeah, thank you too. See you tomorrow. He turns and walks away. I do the same, thinking of what I'll make for dinner. When I get in and move towards the kitchen, I hear Calbex talking in his study. I haven't been in that room yet. I assume that the fact that there might be classified documents or things not meant for Squire's eyes must be the reason. I consider knocking and asking what he wants, but decide that it's best not to interrupt if he's got the door closed. The temptation to cock an ear to the door and listen in exists, but hunger beats curiosity. Entering the kitchen, it's clear that Calbex was in the middle of cooking. He has a few bowls filled with chopped vegetables. Some minced meat that has been browned is in another. A large pot is placed on the range, and it has all the lookings for a meat ragu, especially when I spot the pasta that's been made on the far counter. He made pasta? I'm impressed and curious. I don't recall that this was a lupine favorite. I'm not about to complain though. This is certainly one of mine and fits the bill for the filling meal that I'm craving. With most of the prep work done, I decide to get stuck in. Sautéing the veg and preparing another pot for the pasta water, I start humming happily. Considering how not but a few hours ago I was on the floor, fearing my KAU journey was about to end, things feel pretty good right now. Ah, you beat me to it. I jolt ever so slightly. He comes over to join me, looking a little sheepish. I was planning on this being a surprise. Since you continued, I guess you know what it is. Oh, yeah, I do. We have, well, used to have this planet-side back when I was a kid. That's good. I was looking up human comfort meals, and this one came high on the list. His tail slaps against me. He's come close as he lines up next to me and grabs the next batch of ingredients. You wanted to make me comfort food? Calbex doesn't initially answer. He just keeps gently crushing the juicy fruit that he's working on. Yes, I did. A knight has as much responsibility to the comfort and well-being of his squire as the opposite, after all. Oh, yeah, I guess that's true. We fall into silent work. I feel like I'm holding my breath, fearful that it might break the spell of this moment. With just a few instructions and queries, we complete the cooking and then sit down to eat. I kind of wish that he'd chosen a more complicated recipe so that we could have spent longer on it, but we still have a lovely meal in front of us. Tangy. This is good, though I can see the messiness factor is high. I look up and almost burst out laughing as how much sauce covers his muzzle. Oh no, maybe not the best for your fur. He responds by lashing his tongue out to lick his stained fur, withdrawing it with a satisfied smack of his lips. He continues. No, but worth it. I am glad that you are more cheerful. He smiles shyly at me. I've come to treasure the times where he opens a door. I return the smile. Thank you, Calbex. This means a lot. Good food, good company, and all of that. He mumbles as he takes another, more forceful forkful, making sure to avoid splashback. So, how was your day? Anything of note? Oh, right, yes. He takes a moment to wipe his mouth with a napkin before looking at me seriously. Yes, Commander Orion has been negotiating an early return to active duty for the unit. I almost dropped my fork. Huh? What? Isn't that too soon? Calbex folds his arms across his chest and looks out of the window. That was my opinion as well, along with some of the others. Fen is arguing the fact that since Maul performed so well assisting in Chimera, that it proves our weaknesses aren't an issue, and that we have the best batch of squires yet. He shakes his head, looking down at the meal. It won't be immediate, and there are still plenty of things Command will want to clear first, but Fen is very eager to get back into the fray. I stare at my own plate. Sure, we had been successful in that one battle, but that isn't a sign of anything. Not really. And what are the other parts of the unit? Which packs would he choose? Who did he think was ready? Don't worry, Corwan. We will train. It's all that we can do till we are called on. We strive so others can survive. I look up at him as he says that. The way he worded it sounded more like a mantra, but it's not one that I've heard in the KAU lessons. That's a new one? He looks startled, meeting my gaze for a second before looking away, outside again. Yeah. It was something Colm used to say, every time that we flew out. He doesn't continue. I look out the window too, though I get the feeling that neither of us are examining the yard. I think of how many have fallen, either from the plague overwhelming, or in every frantic, desperate attempt to resist. I catch Calbex looking at me through the reflection in the glass. I like it. Something to always remember. The reflection gives a small smile. It feels like a ghost, something still out there beyond my reach. At least at this moment. Yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna go finish this in my study. There's some stuff that I still need to plan for the training. He mumbles as he stands and takes his plate. He's closing off, retreating. I instinctively reach out. Not to grab or even to stop him. I'm not sure what for. Grazing his arm just a little, in my indecision, he pauses. I'll see you in the morning. Yeah. Good night, Corwan. Maybe not a full retreat. I watch him leave before staring down at my plate. I've lost my appetite, but I don't want to waste the meal that we made together. I push through and finish it off. It really does taste good. I look out of the window again into the night sky. After cleaning my plate, I put away the pot. There are enough leftovers that I won't have to cook tomorrow. Wiping down the surfaces and table, I make sure the room is presentable. With a final check, I turn off the lights and then make my way up to my room. My mind is still a whirlwind of thoughts as I walk through the door, but then my attention is grabbed by my breastplate on the desk. Oh, right. Yes, Corwan, focus on what we can do. I slide into the seat and put my SDIK down, swiping the screen up and calling Maros. Maros appears on the screen, blinking blearily. I wonder what time it is in there. Oh, shit. Sorry, Mar. Did I wake you? No, I was just up late last night. Been working on something to present to KAU. Think that it might get me out sooner. I still need to test the model. Oh? That's so cool. I want to hear all about it. I'll tell you once I get it sorted. Otherwise, I'll just look like an idiot. I'll let you know right away, though. He smiles sleepily. I feel guilty that I haven't been keeping in touch with him as much as I should, even with everything going on. Well, we have right now. Speaking of idiots, Mar, I have to tell you something. Some crazy stuff went down. I'll tell you all about that, or at least as much as I can. First, though, can I ask you about a concept that I want to look into? You're the best at cracking open the source coding on stuff, after all. Maros looks nervous but excited. Sure, if I can. What kind of mess have you gotten yourself into now? I roll my eyes. It's not like I can even say that he's wrong. Pulling the breastplate over, I tap the center. I give Maros a sort of conspiratorial look reminiscent of when we used to try to get into files that we weren't clear to look at yet. Anything for an edge, back then and now too. So, hear me out. My back. So, I'm curious what he's planning. I'm wondering if it has to do with how basically a knight, or I suppose a squire, can be overwhelmed by what the other is feeling. So I'm wondering if he's trying to find a way to prevent that or to utilize that. I say utilize because what if they did it sort of like in the movie Black Panther, where they have the suits absorb the kinetic energy and then have it be releasable to be used as an offensive weapon. So what if they did that? Like have the suits of the squires be able to sort of store some of that the feedback that they're receiving and then use it? That would be kind of cool. Like maybe they could like feed it into the weapons or something. I don't know. Anywho, so you're probably wondering, why, Nero, why didn't you read the scene between Eryx and the human, Corwan? Like, because I would have to edit it out, that's why. And considering what's going on lately, I don't want to poke the bear, so to speak. But yeah, like I said, if you want to see it, go look for it. What else? It is good to see at least that you don't actually have to partake in these scenes in order to have the story progress how it's supposed to or how it's designed to. So yeah, like if it pops up again, I'm probably gonna skip it. At least for you guys, because unfortunately, like I said, it's the things that like I have to be very careful about what I show you guys. You're probably wondering like, well, why did you show it in what was it? That one with Kavir and Ravi. The scene with Ravi and Kavir. Well, because it was edited. And because unfortunately it did have some significance to what was happening, how go watch that video. We're talking about Finite Space right now. Anyways, but yeah, so I'm wondering why Calbex is being very guarded right now, or why he's like he opened up when he was comforting Corwan, and then now he's like retreating again. Like, come on, stay opened up, dude. If for both of your sakes, you both need to be open with each other. I'm wondering also, back to the whole situation with Brut and how Corwan handled it, if this means that they're going to try to find a way to develop ways to help the squires deal with the feedback. Because even though Fen did say that, like, you guys are just the bullet sponges for us, you're just there to absorb our pain so that we can continue fighting, and it doesn't really matter what happens to you in the end. because we're the ones that are more important. The fact that he said that this could be a teachable moment and to learn from it, I'm wondering if he didn't really mean that. It was more of like, you guys have to know how to deal with what's going to be coming to you while we deal with what we're dealing with. But yeah, I guess we'll have to see sooner or later. What else? It's nice to see that the group is that they're feeling more into their roles and with their knights. Eryx being more, getting more used to not exactly not being a combatant, but like being the squire of the guy who's basically just piloting the ship and dropping the knights. Zarya being more used to not just relying on her fists, and like training more so that she is, so that it's not like, oh, my hands, my big ass hands, you know, I can't do anything with these. So like, no. You just have to train more. You have to get used to that. You have to, like, these are your hands. You will mold them to what you need them to do, etc., etc. Yeah. Anywho, what are your thoughts? Write it down in the comments, and thank you all for watching / listening. If you would like to play in Finite Space yourself, you can do so by going down into the link in the description. So if anybody asks me, where can I play this game? I'm not going to respond to you because I always tell you guys where. I swear to God. That is the most annoying question. Anyways, if you would like to support the project, you can do so by subscribing to their Patreon, which gets you earlier access to builds of Infinite Space and does help support the project. And considering how things are going lately, it is very important that you support the creators that you like, the stories that you like, etc., etc. With that in mind, if you would like to support the channel, become a channel member. It does help support me, of course. And, you know, it's nice to see all of your guys' support. And as a return, you get to see these videos earlier as they're being scheduled. So yeah, you know, you get to watch these as soon as I finish editing them and uploading them. So like, yeah, you know, there you go. Also Ko-fi, in case you can't do the channel member thing or you just want to support, but like, you know, it's just like, here, have $1. Or Throne, in case you're feeling very generous. I don't know if any suspiciously wealthy furries out there. I have a throne. Anyways, but yeah, so I guess that's it for now, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.